Gleek, going live. All right, all right. Today now we looking at a little bit of something here that was floating around in the air. I saw a whiff of this on the tubes about this young lady, Ebony K. Williams, on her remarks that she made. My voice is kind of, I was sore throat. It's kind of gone. And it pretty much hurting me to talk. I don't know. I really don't know how I got it. I haven't been around no dust or anything like that. But I just had to take the time out to clean my AC vent and all the good stuff just for safety because that could be a reason why. And changing out the filters. Anyway, bear with me. Okay, Miss Ebony K. Williams, she made a statement or a phrase or a paragraph, however you want to put it. And she was invited to the Breakfast Club to basically explain her part, her statement, and how she was trying to put it out there because some people took it the wrong way. But I like the way how she started off by trying to throw people off the real deal. And I do not see where that was a part of the conversation or the part of the show. But that's her brilliance to maybe mesmerize people with what she wanted them to hear from her for her justification. But she started out with the White House meeting that going on, the White House meeting, the war in Ukraine, the war in that was Sudan. What that get to do with the topic and why you was invited to the Breakfast Club? Don't get it. But that was a smoke or a mirage she trying to put up to blind people to put their mind on something different. That's my opinion. But also on the show was Beezy and Mindy B. Sorry, Mindy B. It was a great show. You know, it was not bad at all. I think that DJ Envy and Charlemagne they tried to give Angela, not Angela, sorry, Miss Ebony K a chance to explain herself, but she was just basically, to me, beating around the bush. Okay, now it all came up because she said something, or she made a statement, a phrase, a paragraph, however you want to put it. A question was came forward to her about would she date a bus driver and something simple, a blue collar person. Her reply was only if They own the bus. Hey, that's her opinion. That's how she feels. She entitled to that. But a lot of people got rubbed the wrong way by saying that if they own the bus. And as we know, there are millions of blue collar workers, you know, and many of us would be offended by that. And she came on the show to rectify and maybe try to justify why she said it. But to me, I felt like she keep digging herself deeper in a hole. Now, I watched this show on the Breakfast Club a few times just to make sure I get a good concept of what I think she's trying to say and what the host was trying to get her to understand. But it was not going that way at all, to my opinion, because Ebony K, she want to take over the Breakfast Club. And I was like, wow. Like to me, she tried to take the show away from these two gentlemen, strip them off their manhood by taking over their show. And you almost shut up and listen to me. Basically, that's what I saw. Like I say, that's my opinion. But she talks about the definition and some data that she won't put out there. And to me, again, the data was senseless because who who wrote the data? Your data and facts you read from Google. Who wrote those? Did an African descent person wrote those data? Did an Asian, a Latino? Who wrote those? Someone from the native tribe? Only people who are writing those information, they putting that information in their favor. So we being as the public blindsided and say this off of Google. So Google have to be right. Now, if I'm in control of Google, or I have an upper hand where I could put out information on Google from the managerial uh, part of Google, and to feed the public, y'all would believe what I put out there because that's what we give y'all to read. So I did not buy the data and the facts that she tried to put out there from Google. Because not everything on that Google or with any news anchor feel is correct. You have to show us something different. And now in this day and age, that we have everybody could jump on their phone and do a little podcast and voice their opinion on how they feel about a topic or a conversation or whatever. Give their own 2 cents and try to get a better understanding on what the big machine trying to feed us. And her Google and facts stated that, her data and facts from Google stated that the different tier of people in the world, in America, socially and financially. Again, A lot of people don't really understand a lot of that stuff. I don't. I'm not gonna sit back here and say I'm no big time economist, but I understand all the stuff they're putting out there. That's not my field. I'm a construction worker. But they keep using this terminology, white and black. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. If you keep using this terminology, white and black, let's get it straight. All people that we call white today is not considered or was never among the classification with the elites or with the masses. Don't let that think about that. Don't let it hurt your head. I'm going to show, let's get this white stuff away from the equation because a lot of people do not want to hear this because they believe this white supremacy stuff is so woo 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 woo. And it's not all of that. That what the Google or the big machine trying to tell us. Okay, not because of what she said about the bus drivers. I'm bringing this part in. I'm bringing this part in because I'm getting sick and tired of hearing people, white, black, or African American, woo, woo, woo. That got to be rectified. Okay? So, the birth of the race of people that we today, or the world today, call white, started in the Virginias after the Bacon Rebellion. Okay? The Bacon Rebellion is named after one of the indentured servants that came over from Europe. And after the second Bacon Rebellion, because the masters almost get their butt whooped, they had to come up with a different strategy so this would not happen again. Because the indentured servants, the Africans, was in the white now, was in black, the Africans, the members from native tribe, the Chinese, the Mongoloids, they came together to fight against the masses. Now, before they were separated, before because all them tribes like them, they lived together as one. Only the masses were separated. And after the Bacon Rebellion, they decided to say, let's give the indentured servants a pass if they could do X, Y, Z, and X, Y, Z. And we'll give them property, musket, seeds, and so forth and so on. Basically, they give the indentured servants what President Lincoln promised to the Africans. That's where President Lincoln get that from. So a lot of people don't know that. Okay? And if you live off your indentured servant contract, you're free. You no more as a servant. But they call them servant and they call them African people slaves. They were the same thing. They all lived together. They eat together. They was loving, married, all together. So if you successfully work up your intention, servant's duty, you become a white person. That's where it came from. There were still Africans, members of native tribe, Mongoloids, Chinese. They were still named the same. Only the Europeans, the indentured servants, would come from all over Europe. They changed. They could work off their endowment to the masses, but not the Africans. They was servants for life. Okay? All of them who got their due diligence and their rewards, some made it work and some did not. Okay, let's just get away from that white and black stuff. Now, the research brother then, also this data, Miss Ebony K put forward, but all the African are to the bottom of the stack. That's crazy. Average, mediocre, typical jobs, she called people off the blue collar world. Average, mediocre, typical. Wow. Though she talked about her mother who drove a bus. But before she did that, she said her mother opened a business. She jumped from her mother had to work and drive bus and drive for FedEx to open a business. She talked about the business first, to glorifying and glamorous, but a glamorous something over her for her mother. And all that talking she did, to me, did not make no sense because she did call the blue collars typical, average, mediocre. That's your mom. She might became a business owner. Still was typical, average. She are not among the elites. That's crazy, but you think because you own a business that you're among the elites. Now, when the masses give the status white people to the indentured servant, you are not because you are my skin complexion, and now we call you white. No, you're not among us. You're still down to the bottom of the pack, but you're not to the very bottom. You're just an inch from the bottom off a 7-inch ruler. But we keep y'all on, or 6-inch ruler, we keep y'all on. But we stop me from the 6 inch to the sky. That's how our ruler measure. Okay? That's how they denture stuff at, say, from 1 to 6. You only go no further than that. That's it. You maxed out. You're still a servant. You're not none of us. That's how come we have all these different shades or groups of Caucasian people, they call themselves nowadays too. All these different organizations would hate the Africans now because of the new world. But when y'all get the damn white people, the white nation was born, birth, the day before that happened, y'all was living among the Africans in the same camp, sleep, eat, drink together. You successfully make your stuff official on the 16th of May 2023, the 17th of May. I'm no more indentured servant. I'm a white person. That's what I am. Now I'm better than you, my friend. We just sit down yesterday and my wife cooked for you and your family and fed y'all on our part. All of a sudden, one day, you're better than me. Ain't that's crazy? But not good enough to sit down to the table with the elites. Now, one podcaster stated that Miss Ebony K, they brought a picture with her husband or ex-husband, and he's a Caucasian fellow. And they said that basically she married him for money. All Caucasians do not have money. Let's get that straight. They are indentured servants, descent. They got some land from the government, and some made it work and some did not. The Africans had nothing, never got a penny. Get over it, people. No, if they did the indentured service like they did the Africans, they'll be the same. They'll be just like us. God no, zero across the board. Like I say, all Caucasians do not have money. I'm in the construction field. I can go back 30 years plus. I worked around a lot of Caucasians, and my pay scale was higher than theirs. But I'm African descent. Okay, my living condition was better than theirs. A lot of them. Some was on my level, some was above. But the majority I work around was, and I work on big projects, which cost millions of dollars. I'm not talking about no $50 million project. Look at quadruple that projects I work on. So, kidding me. By saying that, let's take this out of our mind and thinking that the Caucasian or people who are descended from the indentured servants are so above. They're not among the masses. Get that straight. Now, in real life, I have witnessed this happen. To see my Caucasian or indentured servants, descent, colleagues of getting stuff done that we as African descents could not get get it happen, get it to happen with my own eyes. Saying because you are Caucasian, you can take something back to the store that I try to take to the store, and you kick me out the store, basically. No, woo, get out of here. African descent. Well, one of my Caucasian colleagues, brothers, hey, come on, let's go, handle this. Smooth sailing. Exchange out the door, no problem. Okay? Privilege. See it happen a lot. I haven't witnessed where people try to get approved for an apartment, house to rent. You know, go with your Caucasian buddies. People think, woo, y'all together and all the good shit. You get it. And when you was trying on your own on the internet, because on the telephone and they hear your accent, your voice, oh, you are African descent, they knocking you down. Then you play a trick with them and take your Caucasian partner with you. Oh, we get treated far different. See, things like that happen because, okay, and not that they have more money than me. better credit score than I or would have not because of their color of their skin. So let's get it off our head that all Caucasian has money. And let's get us on our head and calling them white people. Know the reason why and how they got that that nickname and how we get the nickname, what they call it, the N word, all the good stuff like that, or bad stuff, however you want to put it. Now it's African American. Okay? So let's get back to Miss Ebony K. And a lot of these typical mediocre average jobs, they are owned by members from the indentured servants. So where's your data and facts? It's wrong. I'm in the field. I'm in the blue collar field. I see it. We could go back 50 years when the construction field, the majority on the field was African descent. We're not talking being on the shovel. We're talking at the skill level. Project manager, superintendents, foreman, lead, skill. But now that they realize that that profession, mediocre, typical, average, was paying them Negro, take that back, was African descent, was making some good change. Look how it twists around. In the last 30 years, 40, 30 years, I'll say, it was a big change. We'll go 30 years before that, even 40 years before that. They thought that work, that kind of work was just for African descent. Whoop. But some money started getting pumped into the game, and the African descent started making some pretty penny. So now let's change that around and put them from being so good at the craft of building and designing and constructing these things. Let's put them down to the labor level. That's where you're getting these statistics, these data and facts from to make facts. But no one's saying how it happened and when it happened. Not that the African descent don't have the skill set no more. We had it. Africans came from Africa with the skill set to build. That's when they build stuff. So let's take this mediocre, typical, average, and do something else with that. But you're talking about the same people that you want to praise. Because all blue collar work is the same thing, typical, mediocre, average, according to Miss Ebony K. Now, say for instance, one of those mediocre, average, typical person from high school. They started working in one of those fields. And someone from their class, some people go to college, Tech, JC, 4 year, whatever. Now the ones who went straight to the work field was the ones who went to some kind of higher education, say 4.5, 5 years later. Some of those who went to the work field, say for instance, I went to study plumbing, or one of them went to study plumbing, and in 5 years, they no longer a laborer, but they start from the bottom. There's a pass, this helper, skill. Now they, and in 4th year, there's the foreman. Now they said, guess what? In my 6 year or so, they started, guess what? I could open a little side business. I still work my regular job. I can start working on people's homes, apartment complexes would need work, get some side work, and start my little business. Not no LLC yet. They just, treading the waters on the shore, getting their toes wet. And that's 6 years after high school in the field. 6 years from there, 12 to high school, or to high school, that same plumber or guy or lady, female or female, who went straight to the work field 12 years later, they've gained so much skill, knowledge, like practicing their own job on the side. Now they can open their own business. Woo. The person went to college, to Tech, JC, 4 year institution. They have the loan they have to pay back, student loan. So 4 years, you go to college, or the 4 year institution, for the 4.5 years. That's for the bachelor's now. We ain't gonna be on it yet. And you have to pay this money back. You come out there, you have to work for the man. Business administration. That's what you study. You think you coming out of school and with a business administration degree, and you're gonna be making 85, 80, 85,000 every year. There's thousands of students graduating nationwide with that degree. All of them gonna make, they come with the gun at 6 figures. They have to do mediocre, typical, and average work. Even the one who started his own business went straight up to the work field. They in the blue collar field, still doing mediocre, typical, average work. It's blue collar. I have colleagues that who have all this paperwork behind them. A lot. We sit down and have our reunion, woo woo, knuckle up, bum, all the good stuff. Hey, bro. Some wig on, some pay wise, I'm talking about. We have people straight from high schools making hella far more than those who have a bachelor's or a master's. You never step foot in the college or a university doing typical and average work. So that's why I have to talk about this young lady who talk bad about people who are trying to make it. Everybody's not going to have a business. There are some of us have to work. Everybody not designed to own a McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or Popeyes to build Wall Street. If everybody has their own businesses doing all this, who could be the workers? Who could be the typical average, the mediocre work? Someone have to do that. And I like what Mandy B, about when she was coming out of Evans High School from the Orlando area. She had me some water. This sore throat here getting worse. That what they offered to her school. Now I know where Evans High School is. Okay. But that's what they offered students in that area at that school zone. And that is poor. They're gonna offer that school more. Because the year she's talking about coming out of high school, we had children in schools in that region too. Okay? If you're living in as the Lake Mary, Florida area, you go into Lake Mary High School. Lake Mary, the elementary school there, the junior high school there, even right over in Heathrow, better school district, not better school district, better schools. Same county, a different now, county over from where she went to, but the school area that where our children went to, my wife and I, that don't mean that we were better. We're not mediocre, average or typical workers. That's what those children parents were doing, those type of work to give their children a better education. That's what we did. So, I just feel very bad for this young lady, and she should try to come up with an apology to the blue collar workers. That's basically what the panel at the Breakfast Club was trying to tell her. You out of pocket. You're out of pocket. Stop all this trying to talk those men, script them off of their own show, and over talking them. And I can see the reason. I can get a concept on why she do that to men or do that to them men on that show, because with all of her talking about the accomplishment what her mother had to do, she never mentioned anything about a father. Ta-da! Or a father figure. That's why I noticed DJ Envy say, "You have 21 minutes. I listen to you, but now you want to interrupt. You don't want the man to say nothing because you don't have that respect for a man. Because if you have any respect for a man, during your whole conversation, you said something about a father figure in your life. You mentioned everything about a mother. And this is how I feel, my opinion. When you do not have a father figure, you are damaged material. You are angry person. See, growing up and having a father and a mother around, you get that mother love and a father strength. Just running around here with mother's love and having the mother talking bad with the dad because she's angry at what he did or what caused them to separate it. She gonna put herself out there and say, well, she is a part of it or she 100% of the cause. But she'll tell the children's foolishness, your dad, your dad, your dad. And these kids, these children, I hate saying the words kids, these children will grow up looking at a male and nothing. Don't let you have a male child, teaching a male child stuff like that about his dad. Wow. How you gonna feel as a man? Uh-oh. Anyway, so I think she need to apologize to the working class people. And she's very educated enough to do that. Very educated enough to do that. Very educated enough to do that. Because the book you have up there that you wrote, those average, typical, mediocre job people are the ones who will be buying that book. They're the ones who are keeping you in a 6, 7 figure range that you are in. If they pull away from you, wow, are you serious? You think the elites, the masses, is buying your books? You think your book is sitting down in Buckingham Palace for a member of the royal family to read on it and when they library? They the elites. People wake up. Stop calling people white. Do your history. Before they was we call that they all lived together. All the servants. Some was called slaves. Okay? Now, by saying that, I noticed that DJ Envy tried to talk to Miss Ebony, and she was just flat rude. And Shalimar keep trying to hold peace a little bit till he tried to put his 2 cents, and he gets smacked down too. That was crazy. But though they left the show with nothing being solved, I hope that Miss Ebony K, or someone from her camp could talk to her and say, hey, sister, boss lady, wife, girlfriend, what have not, you are out of pocket. You are out of pocket because these are the people who support your show, your podcast, your book. You have to do better than that. You got to go back and be a politician. Kiss some babies, and shake some hands. You should not get a pass for that. I don't think you meant to put it in a bad way. It came out that way. And you keep trying to defend it. I didn't mean to say it like that, but you did. Own it. Come on. Own it. Stand on it. I messed up. My humble apologies. All that education you have in trying to basically take advantage of the dictionary, like they're gonna confuse somebody. I started to feel that you were a relative from the Reverend Jesse Jackson, trying to mesmerize people with words. Like these blue collar people, they will know the meanings. Are you kidding me? We're in the world of the internet. We don't have to run to the library and get a book and flick through all the pages no more. Your smartphones, type in first three, four, five letters of a word. It pops up. So you wasn't doing nothing spectacular by trying to take advantage of trying to take advantage of the dictionary. Okay? Everybody who watched the shows could see who don't know you. You are a very intelligent sister, a very intelligent young lady. You just made a mistake. We're only human. We are only human. We're born to make mistakes. And also, group back in the day, we only human. Yeah, yeah, I remember a song back in the can't remember exact words. Born to make mistakes. It's gonna happen. But you must own up to it. Own up to it. And say, wow, boop, I messed up. My humble apologies. And the public will give you the most utmost respect. But right now, you messing up your book sales. You messing up your podcast. Your ratings gonna drop. You don't want that. Now I did not know who you were before this. Okay? But I won't waste my time to go look at your podcast. Now, easy, I'm gonna check their stuff out. And I like what Beezy was saying, man. That young lady, she was like, basically, she's telling you. Basically, Beezy was telling you, you're out of pocket. Man, they was telling you, you're out of pocket. They did not teach me that. That was not offered to my school. But look where I'm at now. Everybody don't have that window that you had. That Mindy had. That Wheezy. And you know Wheezy say how she would drop it? Woo, woo, woo. If it come to her like that. She ain't coming the way Miss Ebony K gonna come with the dictionary. She come in basically she come with street. But yet she's still making six figures, maybe seven figures. She up there. Her high school didn't give her the window what you'll get from the Caucasian schools or the Caucasian areas. Everybody cannot move a family in a mixed neighborhood. Everybody can move their family in an all African descent neighborhood or an all indentured servant neighborhood. When you're going beyond that, above that, from the Africans, the indentured servants, to the servants area, we're talking about the, the above the 6 inch. It's very rare even to see anyone from the indentured servants or the Africans in that area. It's rare. These people live in houses range any bit from 10 million, 7 million and up. You underneath that level, they look at you as typical, average, mediocre. You're not among us because you live in a $1 million home. You're not among us. Are you kidding me? Don't get it twisted because you get a couple steps up the food chain, but you're still down to the bottom of the pitch when it comes down to people who are above you. You way down to the bottom. So people got to get in line and think, okay, we have a basketball team, professional team, say a 15-man roster. Don't you know once you hit 8 men on that team, everybody else considered mediocre, typical, average? Don't you know that? And yet they making millions. That's crazy to use that word to people who are working for a living. They're average, typical, mediocre players who play professional sports, making more money than you is. So they want them to look at you as average, degrade you as typical or mediocre. Think about it, people out there who are in that standard of living on that mindset. Wake up and smell the coffee. Anyway, I never asked before. Subscribe to my channel. This is Mr. Gleek. Subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, support the channel. I will deeply appreciate you supporting my channel. Okay? Do what it takes. All the good stuff they actually do on uh, YouTube to support a channel. But my hat goes off to all of the other podcasters who try to say positive things to Miss Ebony K on the mistake that we or some of us think she made, and hopefully we all can move forward beyond and work over this or around this and get it under the mat on in the right manner, not just let it die off and hold an apology. You know, and like I said, man, I think that young lady means good. You know, and she keeps saying a sorority. I don't know what sorority she's in, but most likely, more than likely, it should be either one of the four, I'll say five, black African descent sororities out there. That's what be my belief. Now, there's some sororities with are Caucasian, and they do accept African descent. So that's like why some fraternities, but I will feel that she was an all African descent sorority. So that speaks volume that she has a lot of the African descent in her and trying to do better for the African descent community with all of her contacts and with her professionalism in what else she's doing. And I think that she'll open her platform to help people from the African descent to further them because her words of wisdom is powerful. Okay, Miss Ebony K. Well, that's it for now. Thank you, those who support the channel and who will support it. I deeply appreciate. This is Mr. Gleek. Tell it like it is. Once again, that excitement is over. Peace out. Much love. Mr. Gleek out of here. Next time.